Well, Steve, thank you for coming along to the electronic sourcing stand at Electronica this year.
Thank you for having me.
You can just introduce yourself, your job role, and who you're working for.
So my name is Steve Vecchiarelli. I'm a Senior Principal of Digital Solutions at Digi-Key. I've been at Digi-Key for 14 years. Prior to that, I was the Vice President of Supply Chain.
Okay.
And we've embarked into a brand new area, and I'm lucky enough to be heading up that move.
Brilliant. Well, 2019 is kind of shaping up to be an interesting year. There's a bit of disruption in the market. In the UK, we've got Brexit. In the States, there's obviously trade tariffs moving in, that sort of thing. So there's a bit of uncertainty there. We've also got a lot of demand for electronic components worldwide, with alternative energy, electric vehicles, that sort of thing, pushing demand up, which has led to some supply chain issues and some passive components, that sort of thing. So with all of that and more in mind, I'm interested in what Digi-Key's doing in terms of investing in its systems and its people and its capabilities to look after our readers, and our readers being involved in the process of purchasing those parts more than anything.
Yeah.
So what sort of things are you doing?
I think disruption is absolutely a great word for what we're going to see, and what we have seen in 2018 and moving into 2019. So customers want a new way to do business. So we've been deeply involved in coming up with ways to connect with them machine to machine via APIs, different kinds of APIs. And not only have we invested in the technology, we've invested in the mindset that we're willing to share information that for years everybody kept very close to the vest and weren't willing to share. We feel that both on the supplier side, being us, to our customers, and on the customer side, the ones that can share the information and can share it in a way that can be quickly digested are going to ultimately be able to serve their customers much better.
Okay, so you see this as a sort of paradigm shift in the way that customers are going to interact with distributors moving forward.
Absolutely. Those of us that have been in this industry for a while, we've seen automation along the way change how we do business, but we've never really seen a shift like we see now.
Okay.
The sharing of information, how quickly it is going to really push us into the new age, whatever we want to call it.
Yep.
And all of that helps expand the market. You know, as we see more and more electronics in everything, who would have believed that 25 years ago in an automobile we would have as much electronics, or smartphones, and wherever the market is going, it's going to be driven by electronics. So from the design phase, which we're heavily involved in getting information to the design community, all the way through the production phase and getting pricing and stock availability and supply chain information so that they can plan their purchases, that's going to really get us to where we need to be.
Okay. So the benefits being sort of time to market, transparency,
time to
problem
market
solving.
excellence is certainly a thing that we strive for. We want to be able to get the information into the customer's hands all the way from prototyping, where the design gets done, all the way through production. So, we're very heavily involved in how to get that information to them accurately, so that customers, the feedback we get is the customers want to move away from the keyboard. They want to go from machine to machine, do the negotiation up front, and then let the machines do the work. So let the buying community do what the buying community has to do, negotiate the prices, etc., and then let the machines take care of the fulfillment.
Okay. The times I've looked at the sort of production technology on a surface mount shop floor these days, with the computer-controlled pick-and-place machines and through-hole, and they're sort of bar-coded component trolleys and all that sort of thing. I'm assuming you're sort of feeding into that MRP type systems.
We have APIs that you can shoot a barcode and get all the information of what's on the reel, lot and date codes, so that can be followed all the way through in the production environment. So in industries such as medical or perhaps military, they can have control all the way through.
Yes.
So as they do the final test, if something's wrong, they'll know the lot and date code and be able to
So
improve the quality.
So traceability all the way back from the PCB through the machine, back
Absolutely.
through the supply chain to the device. Yeah, interesting. And going to the other end of the sort of process where products are being conceived and designed, I see a kind of democratization of the design process these days where anyone with a good idea, provided they can get to the right people to help, can potentially get a prototype built and sort of introduce that product to market. Where do you fit there?
The maker market is absolutely a place where we are and we certainly want to be. All the way from the students all the way up the way through. We're in a situation, not a situation, maybe that's not a good word, but we're in a place in time where you don't have to be a design engineer to come up with a product. You can get ready-made products and then add some value to it and come up with a proof of concept and an idea that maybe make it to the market and be the next greatest thing. So we're deeply involved in the maker market. We have a whole team that drives all of that, and we see that as a really expanding part of our business in the future.
Yeah, fascinating. And in a kind of technology front, the whole IoT type topic, it's been around for a few years, but I'm starting to see some real products emerge in real markets. Is that
absolutely?
Similar?
And IoT, I think that the first things that came out was how to turn your lights on and off, and they were pretty basic. They were good, but they were really putting your big toe into the water. Now we're starting to see some products that really have substance, and that's just going to continue to expand. And how we interact with those products once they're designed and they work, all of that comes into the machine-to-machine connections and everything else. So, we're really at the beginning of a whole shift of how we think about our customers and how we do business.
So at the beginning of a revolution in terms of design and distribution, by the sounds of it.
Absolutely.
Fascinating.
And the next 10 or 20 years are going to be a very exciting time. We see the almost limitless parts. You're limited by your imagination, and if we stay ahead of the technology, which we're certainly trying to do, then as the technology and as the ideas start to flourish, we'll be there with how we can service them.
Yeah, brilliant. Wow, sounds like an exciting future for us all.
It is, absolutely.
Well, thank you for your time today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, have a great Electronica.
All right,
Thank you,
we
Steve.
will.
Yeah,
thank
cheers.
you.